Welcome to the Vale
Matters
podcast, brought to you by Evesham Notice Board Group.
We will explore topics from local politics and economy to education and events dedicated to Evesham, Herschel and Broadway.
We will also feature stories from everyday people to learn about their experiences and get a better understanding of how our community is changing.
So join us.
Let's talk about the things that matter in the Vale.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into our 10th episode of The Vale Matters. We had a little bit of a break last month. Some of you may have noticed we had the Love Evesham event, and we moved offices to the Brickkiln Street location, which is now our head office for the Vale Matters podcast, Evesham Notice Board and the Bright Ideas Marketing Agency. And you can hold your podcast here, but this equipment is sponsored by Wallace House, so it's welcome to be used by the community as well. But it is a quieter venue, I must say. I mean, Wallace House is a brilliant community centre, and it's very vibrant and full of lots of community groups in there. So before I introduce tonight's guests and the topic, I just wanted to give a little bit of a trigger warning, and that's probably just proven that I've had to retake this because it upset me saying it the first time. This is a trigger warning because it will and can provoke, invoke feelings and memories from many. We are discussing dementia care and the care support in the Vale of Evesham. I'm really pleased and honoured to be here today, joined by Lyndsay Roach and Debbie Dixon from the Evesham Dementia Mental Health Support Services. That's part of it also, but mainly from the Evesham Dementia Action Alliance and the Dementia Meeting Room Centre, which is based at the Bendworth at the hub on, I think it's 20 Church Street in Bendworth. So before we get started on the topic of dementia and all the things that people can access in our community and in our area, we're just going to do some quick fire questions. We do it with all our guests, and it just tells us a little bit more about you guys. So Lyndsay, asparagus or broccoli? Asparagus. Debbie?
Oh, asparagus.
Oh, so these are true Evesham people I've got here. Best music era, 70s, 80s or 90s, if you had to choose one?
80s.
Oh, I'm an 80s girl.
Both 80s. I love the 80s as well. I've got to say, guys, before we carry on, this next question is probably quite, this shows, is it hot weather or snow?
At this moment, snow, please.
Yeah, we're on the 26th of June, and it's probably the hottest day we've had this year. What was it, 31 degrees outside, and we are melting. We need to get aircon. But yeah, snow for me too. What about you, Lyndsay?
At the moment, snow.
Snow. So if you were stranded on an island, this is the cheesy question. If you were stranded on an island, what 3 things would you take with you? Or you could just pick one thing. What would be your main? Apart from your fan. She's come equipped with her own fan.
Probably my dog, Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Probably my husband, I suppose.
I like the fact the dog was first.
Of course.
The husband was last.
Which dog?
Oh yes, I've got 2, haven't I?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, one's
Dogs.
only little.
Dogs.
Yeah.
So the husband stays at home then.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
You've met him, obviously.
Lyndsay, what would you do?
Oh, I really don't know. I suppose I'd need a phone.
Your phone, that's good. Yeah.
I need a phone.
With the charger attached to it, yeah.
So I can phone home.
But what would you plug it into? This is the problem.
Oh yeah,
silly
I've got
question.
Wi-Fi and no phone, have I? Gosh, we'll have no chance on the desert
Well,
island.
if I take
would
the
we?
phone and a charger,
Yeah.
you've got the Wi-Fi,
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
going to be covered. Your dogs, my dogs,
Yeah.
we're fine.
No husbands.
No.
Just dogs. Yeah. Love that. So if you could choose a charity, a local charity, apart from your own, could you give a shout out to a charity that you feel that, or a community group that you feel deserves a little shout out here today? Sometimes we do it for businesses and sometimes we do it for charities.
Evesham and District Pensioners Association.
Oh, lovely.
So that's for the over
Yeah.
50s. retired or not.
Ah,
And they meet every month to do a social talk, but they also have a men's forum club. They have a crafty chat,
Yeah.
which is a craft group, but you can go along and just chat. And they also do active ageing, which is seated exercise mainly,
yeah.
to music once
Oh,
a week.
That's lovely. So that's Evesham Pensioner
Evesham District Pensioners Association.
They do like their long names around here, don't they?
Oh, well, I'd love to change ours.
Everything's EDAA, EDMHSS, and EDA, and this and that.
Have you got one, Debbie?
Yes, John Martin's charity.
Lovely. That's a well-established charity,
Yeah,
isn't it? And does
yeah.
help many families.
They certainly do, and they helped my daughter when she was going through university, and they've helped us immensely
Okay.
for our charity. So
Yeah,
it's a huge benefit at Evesham actually having John Martin's charity.
It's something we need to share more about. I don't understand
Yeah,
it fully. I've got a
absolutely
child about to go to
amazing.
university, and I know it's very difficult.
Yeah,
you know, with,
definitely.
So
Yeah.
that's a lovely charity. Okay, so thank you for doing the quick fire questions, and we're I'm just gonna briefly cover some of the facts that actually Debbie and Lyndsay have helped me put together. That there are roughly in the UK 4 out of 10 are living in the UK with undiagnosed dementia. That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's 982,000 people living with dementia, with many kinds at various stages and types, but so many still go undiagnosed with fear, and some even feeling that there may be a stigma. We don't have the figures for how many people in our actual area are diagnosed with dementia, but we do know that the numbers in the UK are growing, which is why it's really important to get early diagnosis. In this area, we're failing to meet the diagnosis rates. I think you said, Debbie, currently we're classed as very low at being at early diagnosis.
Yeah, we are. It's, the government wants 66.7% of diagnoses done, and we're very low at 48%.
Yeah.
That information was from the Times newspaper as well.
Right, okay. So that's, and that's for the Wychavon area
Yes,
as well, isn't
yes,
it? So
it
that's
is,
actually
yeah.
for our area. So we wanted to cover, and I know this is really important to you ladies here, that, you know, getting an early diagnosis and the benefits of getting an early diagnosis is what is key to supporting and getting the right treatment and the right support throughout the family's journey, if you like. We've made some notes that some of the benefits, in case people didn't know, that, you know, thinking about this, is that it can give you extra time to adjust to your diagnosis. It gives you access to advice and support. It gives you access to the dementia groups that Lyndsay and Debbie are part of here. And that's for people who, I think sometimes people think that if they were diagnosed with dementia, that they'd be showing signs physically, but actually a lot of people who are diagnosed with dementia don't. You might not know that they've got dementia. In fact, I could have dementia, any of us could have dementia, and we might not know it. So it's not always so...
Or you just put it down to old age forgetfulness and that sort of thing.
But I'm, you know, just coming up for 50, and I'm forgetful as well, so it can hit at any age as well, can't it? But I don't think it's... I remember when my dad was diagnosed, there was little things that he was doing, but actually... It could have been many things, and when he knew, it made so much sense to us all that it really helped. But it didn't affect who he was. It didn't change him at that time. He was still John, and he was still able to go and do.
And they still have a
things.
role in the community.
Yeah.
You can still drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
You can
out
still
and about,
work.
You can be
Yeah,
independent.
you can still work, and I think that's amazing that people just forget that part of it. They think being diagnosed is at the point you don't get diagnosed, you can leave it as long as you can, and that's at the point where you then isolate yourself, you feel embarrassed, you know, there's this feeling of shame, or that the family don't know how to deal with it, whereas what you guys do is provide that support to the early stages of being diagnosed, because I suppose you could get tested and it comes back negative as well. It's not always going to be.
Yeah, it could be something else entirely.
Yeah, there's lots of things it could be, but getting tested is the best.
Is the best thing, isn't it?
Just go to your GP if you've got any worries.
And I know when my dad was diagnosed, he had many tests, not to, not, it wasn't intrusive, it was just a scan, a scan and some blood tests and then some questions. He went for an assessment.
My father was always asked the same questions.
Yeah.
Who is the Queen? And I mean, she was the Queen for the whole of his life.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter where he was in his dementia journey, he still knew
He
who
knew the Queen was.
Well, it might be slightly different now if we
that's true. Yeah, that's it. We're catching them out now. So there's many benefits to being diagnosed early, and we hope that that what we talk about today can help carers and people being diagnosed and can provide support and information for that as well. But I was surprised also to know that you could get support for council tax reductions, for attendance allowance, for blue badge parking, PIP. I don't know what PIP is. Is that carers allowance? Like a...
No, it's a personal...
independence payment, isn't
Yeah.
it? Personal independence
PIP.
payment. Yeah, and carers allowance. So there's reasons to get the support out there for.
Can I just
many
add that
reasons.
attendance allowance isn't means tested.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where you might not get carers allowance because
Yeah.
of
But attendance allowance.
And then obviously you can use your carers allowance to join groups and do
Yeah.
activities to keep that cognitive stimulation going.
Yeah, which is really important,
Very
isn't
much,
it?
yeah.
Even in the early stages, to make those connections with the people, I suppose. as
Well, they say use it or lose it, don't they?
That's
and that's what
true.
we try and encourage, that life will carry on and you can live well with dementia.
Yeah, that's brilliant, and I think it's important to know that these clubs and groups and activities are out there in Evesham and Pershore and Broadway, I suppose, as well, for these people to come and visit. I did read some practical tips if maybe if somebody's been diagnosed recently, or if they were looking for some help. I read something about orientation clocks, which show the time and day and the date, and if it's AM or PM.
Yeah, they're quite big clocks as well.
Yeah, I think my dad had one. And also whiteboards were really useful as well, aren't they? Having a whiteboard.
We use a lot of whiteboards in our centre.
Yeah, so you can write on the current day's events, or making to-do lists somewhere visible, like putting them on the fridge. And maybe asking the pharmacist to provide a pre-sorted box. Now, we definitely had to do that with my dad, having the pills already in,
the little gossip box.
Yeah, because there is actually medication available, isn't there, for dementia as well? In certain types of dementia, they actually do get some types of medication, and there's lots of early diagnosis tablets that they can give, and
certainly slows
and then
it down.
even
So
slows
it's not
it down.
a cure.
No, but it
No,
can slow it
unfortunately
down,
not.
which is another really valid reason, isn't it? But I think most of all, which is where we go on to you guys, which is making connections. One of the best thing you can do is to make connections within your community, not to lock the door, not to close away, to use the local community groups, charities and volunteer services. It is vital for people living with dementia and their carers to be able to socialise, have support and have fun. And it's important to give them the information to live their best life. The stigma in early diagnosis is actually causing more harm. But let's talk to the main ladies and have this, this important conversation, why it's important to let this stigma go. Lyndsay, you're the chairlady for the charity, for many roles. You joined the charity 7 years ago. And some of you may know Lyndsay from her community role at Tesco's. That's where I first met you, I think, when you were at Tesco's. And Lyndsay has always been supportive in her roles throughout her career in many ways, from working as a teacher, working with SEN, and always supporting our local charities and community groups. You always share and support these fantastic causes, but tell us, Lyndsay, why do you work within the Dementia Trust at the moment, the dementia groups?
It is so emotional.
Yeah.
I started working with the EDAA when Tesco's opened the relaxed lane, so that people going through the tills didn't have to worry about being pushed and shoved on and what people behind were saying. That's when I first got involved in it. But then going to dementia cafes and meeting people, and actually seeing how the carers struggle
Yeah.
It was just so emotional. I just had to do something. It may be controversial, but if you're living with dementia, the carer is the one that seems to suffer because they are living with it as well.
Yeah.
And trying to deal with it, and to make the right decisions.
Yes.
And you really do need support. You need somebody to talk to. So for everything that's out there for those living with dementia, there is also support for the carers.
Yes.
And they must have that support,
Yeah.
because there's lots of decisions that need to be made, whether it's legal decisions, for wills and power of attorney and all that sort of stuff. People say, oh, it's too soon, we don't need to do that. But no, now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come into effect until later on.
Yeah, when you need it to. And
When you
also
need
it's
it to.
nice to have it ticked off.
You can forget
ticked off
about
the
it.
list. Yeah.
Forget about it and get on with life.
Yeah.
And when it's needed, it's already been prepared for you.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister died recently and they couldn't find a will.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
Yeah.
They eventually found it.
Yeah.
But it was so difficult what they were going to have to go through, because... So if you've got all these things in place, you can just forget. Get on with life.
And enjoy and try and to make the most of the other opportunities that are out there, rather than worrying about the paperwork side of things, like you
and
say.
the carer doesn't have to worry about it either, because they know that when the time comes...
And all the family are prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They can all know that everything's in place and they can just get on with life.
So when you say about like the carer support, there are actually carer support groups, aren't there, and meetups? Like a carers cafe, is it?
There's
We do a memory cafe at Church Street, and that is we're hoping it's going to be every Wednesday, aren't we? We're hoping eventually it's going to be every Wednesday from next month, so that's good. So we're hoping to expand on that, and obviously we have a carers support group just for the carers as well, and that's the first Tuesday and last Thursday of every month, and that's 1:30 till 3:00, where carers come, meet each other, sit and chat, we give advice, we help them, support them, and it's enlightening for them because they know they're not alone and other people are having their journey as well. And obviously everybody's journey is different.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Plus we could also invite Age UK or Alzheimer's or the local council or whatever to come in and talk about a specific subject if that's what they want. So it's completely led by them.
Yeah, and there's support available online as well, isn't there? Because I know with my dad I couldn't leave a lot, and he was bedbound, so I couldn't go out, and I want, when you need support, so finding it online. And you've got a telephone number as well, haven't you?
Telephone, websites, Facebook.
Yeah. We will add all these onto the onto the links as well, guys. But we'll mention it at the end
but
as well.
there's also Worcestershire's Carers Association.
Association of Carers. Yeah.
So they will help with any caring. It's not just dementia. So.
Yeah.
And Dementia UK as well. They obviously have the Admiral nurses, which a very important service for families to have.
Yeah. Well, and then those nurses come out to you
Yes, they do.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it? So there's a lot of support, and if you don't get diagnosed, or if you get diagnosed and hide away, then you wouldn't know any of these things, would you?
No.
So it's important, even if you're listening to this and it's not yourself that's directly affected, but somebody you know, that you share this information with them, and then in their own time when they're ready, maybe they can get in touch with the ladies here.
A lot of times when there is a diagnosis, people are given lots of information, but they're not ready to take it on board. They've got to get used to the fact that they had a diagnosis, and then when they do start to take it on board, they just don't remember what the information is and everything. There's lots of places you need to go, and there's leaflets around all over the place at the doctors, libraries, everywhere, with any groups and support that's in this area.
There's definitely. I'm really impressed with how much support there is available. My dad was diagnosed in Worthing, and we moved to Wickham Ford as he was diagnosed. So we went through 2 areas and we've seen the difference. So there's definitely a lot more support we felt in this area for groups and things. So Debbie, yourself, you've been with the group now for nearly 6 years. Is that right? Yeah,
yes, that's right.
Supporting the dementia as a support worker as well.
Well, obviously the meeting centre started in 2021. And obviously that's part of Evesham and District Mental Health Support Services. So I've been with the actual charity for 6 years. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so you also help out with the marketing and the PR and spoken word and designing the leaflets and all the beautiful digital Facebook posts that we see as well, which look great.
I try.
And you've done a great job. You step in as deputy manager as well for the EDMHSS.
When Sally's away.
When Sally's away.
Yeah.
So and you are ultimately you're providing vital community services and supporting people who live in this area with dementia
definitely.
and their carers, and you're very dedicated to what you do. I could see it in the email, the replies that you sent me, how much information and how much knowledge that you've got about it, and also the passion comes through as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The same as Lyndsay, you really have got a passion for what you do. Why do you do it?
Well, I didn't think I would be into trying to improve people's lives. And obviously I've been a civil servant, then I've worked in a school, and I sort of came into the charity by accident really, and I didn't realise I had such a passion to support the community with mental health issues, and then obviously dementia as well. And I thought, I don't know if I'm ready for the dementia support. And then I thought, I'll give it a go, and oh my goodness, it's changed my life completely.
Wow.
It really has.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Yeah,
the support that you can give.
Definitely, and also to make them feel they're part of the community, that they are, their life is worthy. Listening to their reminiscence and their life stories, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, I went to All Saints Church by accident. I walked in and they had a tea.
Afternoon tea.
And I was amazed. I thought how beautiful they made it. So lovely with a game of the different items from the past.
Yeah.
Like a theme. I can't remember what it was now. So could you give us an idea of what happens at the meetups that you do for, say, somebody's just been diagnosed with dementia and they said, you know what, I am going to come along.
Good. Well, obviously, hopefully they will give us a ring. And then they'll come in for an assessment. It's a get to know you, really.
Oh, okay.
To find out histories of the person with dementia. And then we need to discuss, what we do in the centre and whether it would be appropriate for them. Because obviously we have a programme of events which have been, done from Worcestershire University for Dementia Studies.
Wow.
And obviously this programme we do is to give them social, emotional and practical support, and we then decide to give them a free taste a day, and they come and meet everybody, see the sort of things we do, and then they'll decide if they want to come on a weekly basis on a Tuesday and Thursday.
That's lovely. And so that's at the Church Street location. And what if they have mobility issues? Is it mobility
Doesn't
friendly?
matter. We are disabled friendly there. We've got ramps, we've got disabled toilets.
Brilliant.
Yeah, nothing stands in our way.
And is there if they don't drive, let's say, is there a way of them getting there?
Well, a lot of our carers use Evesham Volunteer Centre. They use taxis, and volunteer services. They get dropped off and picked up.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's a whole other podcast for the Evesham
Definitely. So, we all work together really to support the people in Evesham.
Which is amazing. So you've all communicated together to make sure that you can provide that it's inclusive, it's accessible for all, which is really important, isn't it? That nobody's listening to this thinking, well, I'd love to go to Bendworth Church Street, but how do I get there? And they can get there. So even if they haven't got a carer, or
usually, we do say for the carer to come and be with them on the taster day. Yeah. But really, they want a bit of a break. Yeah. So they know that they're in a safe environment. Yeah. For 5 hours, and they've got 5 hours to get their hair done, sort paperwork, go to the dentist,
Yeah.
or even catch up on sleep.
Yeah. So the people who are there with you guys for 5 hours, what sort of things would they do? Do they do crafts or chess?
No.
No?
We do, but obviously it's a program that we use. They come in at 10 o'clock. We all congregate in the kitchen. We all have coffee and biscuits.
Oh, nice.
Some eat more biscuits than others. And then we go in our other room, and then we start on this day in history. And it could be someone's birthday, and we go on things, you know, what's happened in history on that day, like Barry Manilow's birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just starts to be, you know, get their stories going. It's using that cognitive stimulation. And then usually we do a theme after. So we did it on, you know, it was National Biscuit Day, so we did a theme on biscuits and did, you know, dunking experiments.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
I mean, we do.
Can I come?
Yeah, we do,
I need to come along
honestly.
to one of these.
And everybody that comes absolutely loves it and don't want to go home.
Yeah.
And they go home with a smile on their face.
Oh, that's lovely.
And singing, obviously, is
And
a big
singing.
part. Oh, yeah, we sing, and then we do fact cards on whatever subject we're doing, and they read them out.
Wow.
You know, because people with dementia, you know, they can read,
Yeah.
they can live
Yeah.
their life,
Yeah.
and they have some funny stories, and it's just amazing. And then we have lunch together, all of us have lunch together, and then in the afternoon we do a word search or a word game. How many words can you find out of another word? And oh my goodness. And they even tell us, the staff, how to spell.
Yeah.
And then we do exercise. We do band exercise, chair exercise. We do balloon exercise.
Yeah.
Have ice creams after.
Oh, lovely.
And then we usually do a fun quiz.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
it
yeah,
sounds
it's
like a really fun afternoon.
it's a very full program, but it's there for a reason and it works.
So, and that's been developed by the university.
Dementia, yeah, the university, yeah.
By the professors there at Worcester University have said these are things that
Definitely.
help you, but it's
Yeah,
not
and they've
noticeable, is
done-
it? It's not like
no.
it's like an exam where you have to sit and learn something. It's,
No, it's,
you know,
they-
it sounds like fun activities. Actually, it sounds sociable as well. It sounds really
Yes,
sociable.
and that's what it is. It's making friends, making them feel that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And you know, the carers sometimes stay and have a coffee, and then they'll perhaps go off together, or you know, we're one big family really.
Yeah.
And I know that they love coming, and if they go home with a smile on their face, that's all I care about.
Lovely. And this is part of the charity, so you're funded for this as well.
Well, we do charge for this, unfortunately, because our building, you know, it costs money to upkeep. So we do charge £35
per week? Or?
Per week for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, it's quite good value for money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for 5 hours of activities.
Well, it's subsidised
Yeah.
by
And it's subsidised.
grants
Yes.
that we get in.
You know, which Avon District Council have helped us, and we've also had John Martin's help us, so we can, you know, offer
There
the
is
service
support
at
there.
£35.
Yeah. And is there support there for somebody who couldn't afford it?
We are looking into this, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
to
this
see
is
if you
why
can
I
get
say the carers
sponsored
allowance
places.
could be used
Yes.
for that. And what we're finding at the moment, obviously numbers can be quite low because the cost of living's obviously affected everybody, and now that carers allowance is used for food and electricity and gas, you know, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But there is help out there.
Yeah. So, Lyndsay, with the I've seen the about becoming a dementia friend is another thing that the community can do to get involved. I just wondered, what is a dementia friend?
A dementia friend is somebody that has done a 45-minute session with our lovely Liz Green, and we'll give you the details for that so that anybody wants to join up for it. It's to give you an insight into what dementia is and how dementia changes, and just to give you an idea how to support somebody. So if you were going into a shop and somebody just stops dead in front of you, you know, what do? Do you push past and shove them on in, or do you stop and try and direct people around them You don't know that they've got dementia, but they could have.
Yeah.
And the reason they've stopped is because there's a great big black hole in front of them because somebody's put a mat there to wipe their feet on. So we also go around and give advice to businesses on how to make places dementia friendly, so that if it had a pattern on it, they would walk on it. But because it looks just like a black hole, you're never going to encourage them to get over it. Some places have really swirly carpets and what have you, and people see them as snakes. Well, why would you walk into a pit of snakes? So it's all that sort of thing. So we just give you an insight into it and how you could help and encourage people with dementia in the community.
So it's a dementia friend is for anybody in the community, maybe somebody who's looking after somebody or is going to be looking after somebody who's got dementia as well.
Anybody, we go into school, we do it with school children, so they know, because they have grandparents and parents and that. We do it for businesses.
I did note, we did share that before about how you can become a dementia friendly business as well, can't you? If you've got a business in Evesham and you want to make sure your business is accessible and inclusive to all members of our community, and that includes people with dementia as well.
Well, as we've said, people with dementia can work. So, or you may have somebody that works in your business that is caring for somebody with dementia, and knowing about it and being able to support them is paramount.
And that's where the blue flower comes in, isn't it? I don't know if you've looked on Facebook, you'll see that the Evesham Dementia Action Alliance have got this lovely blue. Is it a daisy or?
It's a forget-me-not.
Forget-me-not, sorry, the forget-me-not flower, and those are part of what you can put on your window to say that your business is dementia friendly, and that's because they've completed this 45-minute.
Well, we ask them to contact us, and then we go in to advise. But one of the things we try and encourage is for them to have their staff to actually do the dementia session. If you're a small business and you've only got 2 people, then we put on sessions for the whole community.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? That's
I
really
believe
good.
there's one in a few weeks' time, and then there's another one next month, and so forth. So it's all on the website. You can sign up. It's free. You don't. It's just 45 minutes of your time.
Lovely. And what is the dementia, the website address for the Action Alliance, so they can find all this information as well? I know we'll share it on the link, but it's also nice to say it sometimes if they're...
Well, it's good old www.eveshamdaa, all one word, .org.uk.
Lovely. And that takes you to the Evesham Dementia Action Alliance, which is an umbrella of the Evesham Dementia.
Evesham Dementia Action Alliance is a charity and we support everything's voluntary. Everybody that works for it is all voluntary. They put on special events. We've had the English Symphony Orchestra come out and play. We've had the Wind Quartet, and we've had all brass and all sorts of things. We have the ukulele band, and I know the ukulele band.
We're very much supported by the ukulele band.
Really?
Harvington and Malarkeys.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they come free of charge and entertain our lovely members.
Lovely. So are there many businesses in Evesham that have contacted you and said we are interested? Any of the public houses? Any of the... No? Oh, that's a shame. If you're listening to this and you own a pub or a shop based in Evesham or a cafe, all these type of businesses, everybody still goes to them. Just because they've got dementia doesn't mean you don't go for a pint or you don't go for a coffee.
But even if you're working in offices, there's no reason why, as I say, to support carers and to support people that maybe early
to
stage
have that
dementia.
information there. Because some of the like the Red Line in Market Square, I popped past recently and had the Evesham U3A group in there singing sea shanties, which I thought, thinking of what you guys were saying about singing,
well,
I think everyone would love that too. So that that might bring back some memories as well. Some
certainly
sea
would.
shanties.
Oh, yes.
But,
It's amazing what they come out with.
yeah. But but the head office for this is Church Street, isn't it? It's at the hub.
Yeah, the
And that's where
meeting
you are.
centre, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
we're at the
meeting centre.
mental health centre, yeah.
Lovely.
20 Church Street.
And the phone number is 01386 429 454. Is that correct?
That's right, and also our website is edmhss.org.
Yeah, and I did notice that there is mental health support which you provide from there,
We
which is, I
do.
know it's not dementia, but it is part of the
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
guys do in Evesham,
Yeah.
and that's provided for people from ages of 11
Yes,
to
it is.
100 and upwards, really, isn't
yeah,
it?
definitely.
It's all
Yeah, we do
ages.
child counselling Monday evening, and
Yeah.
we do adult counselling Monday and Friday, and
Yeah.
Monday evening as well for people that are working. We do telephone support 5 days a week.
So it's so much support going on from one hub as well, which is really, people maybe if you don't know where that is, it's at the it's in Bendworth, as I said, so it's at the top end of Port Street. You take the turn in down by the pub, by the Swan. I sound like my granddad now, naming everywhere by the pubs around in the
I know
area.
what you're trying to hide.
Blaming my granddad. But yeah, so it's just round
Yes,
the back
it is.
there, and you can see.
There's a big yellow
was gonna
smiley
say,
face on the building. You
it's
can't
very
miss us.
cheery. It's very
yeah,
cheery.
and you'll probably follow the sound of us singing
Yeah,
while we're doing our meeting centre.
Lovely. And I noticed that you've got a Just Giving page as well. Does that benefit the dementia?
It goes
To
into the
whole
charity,
centre, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So
I mean, obviously our meeting centre, we need numbers. We need people to get diagnosis. We need people to come, even just see what we do. And that's why we've opened the Memory Cafe in the hope that people will come and see us, like what they see. We give them a bit of a taster of what we do and the supports on offer. And we need numbers to rise, really. And it's so important that people no need to hide away with dementia.
yeah, that's lovely. That's really kind. I think from Evesham Notice Board's point of view, we will be sharing the Just Giving page and the link to it to help fundraise, but also we will try and push that from our group's perspective as our chosen charity for the next 12 months.
Oh,
so
lovely.
we'll try and aim to raise a target of
Yeah,
£1,000. We
that'd
did
be lovely.
£1,000 for the food bank.
Wow.
So if we could
Well
do that
done.
for you guys.
Thank you, that's
Fantastic.
That would
amazing.
be,
Thank you so much.
So if you're listening to this, guys, I'd start digging deep because I'll just promise £1,000. But I'm really grateful for you girls coming in today and
been a
in this
pleasure.
heat as well, which we have melted in this room, but it's been a real honour and it really means a lot. I know to each one of us in this room has been affected
We have, yeah.
by dementia, haven't we?
At the moment, I'm pushing Defy Dementia, Live.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
You know, don't just say, I've got it and get on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously a
Live.
dementia diagnosis does affect you, but you can live well with dementia
Yeah.
and adjust to the change, and that's what we're here for, to offer support to adjust to the change of a dementia diagnosis, and that life will carry on.
Yeah. So that's really important, guys. If you're listening and you have any suspicions, go to your GP. That's the first stage, I suppose,
Yeah,
isn't it? Just
definitely.
contact your GP
Yes.
because they're very helpful,
Yeah.
and everybody wants. We all want to make sure that we care for each other and,
Yes,
and
definitely.
we get the help that we need when we need it. That's what it's there for. And as I said, it helps actually prevent the dementia progression or things from doing things that really...
I mean, with dementia, obviously, there's a lot of illnesses out there, and obviously dementia, there is nothing that can stop the progression of that, but we are there to support, and we are there to advise and to try and keep that cognitive stimulation going.
Yeah, because
to
isn't it
keep-
proven that
yeah.
singing helps?
Oh gosh, yes.
The lady who did the documentary,
Vicky McClure.
Vicky McClure, exactly, where she really proved as well that singing can really help.
Oh, yeah.
And, what you guys are doing, maybe we'll take up some sea shanty singing at Red Lion.
Oh, that'd be funny.
There's one other thing that the university, they do a certificate in dementia, a PGC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they did training.
They trained us absolutely amazing.
Wow. Well, you guys definitely know what you are talking about, and that's why it's been such an honour to have you come in today and share that with our
Thank you
community.
for letting us come in.
Oh no, hopefully we can do it again as well. And
I'm sure.
Over the years we can do another one. I'll choose a cooler time of year.
I'll be in if you don't raise £1,000, I can tell you.
I'm sharing the link now, guys. I'm sharing the link now. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you.
Thank
to
you.
guys. Thank you for everything that you do in our community. It means a lot to the people
Bless
out
you.
there.
Thank
and
you.
from everybody who has had your support or is looking at getting your support, we thank you from them as well. So have a great day. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.